Hi, welcome. I'm Mary and I hook books. I crochet things inspired by books, usually science fiction, some fantasy, some thriller, and often I'll crochet while listening to the audiobook. This is going to be another kind of weekly vlog of me trying to get myself out of this reading slump. Gonna raid my stash and see if Libby from the library can come through for me this week. Dark matter, but you wish there was better female representation, you will love the 22 Murders of Madison May. We're following a couple different Madisons, as unfortunately they do get murdered, and we're also following a reporter who went to one of the Madison May's murder sites and gets literally pushed into all of this and interdimensional travel. She's trying to figure out why people keep murdering Madison May. She seems like a perfectly nice girl. And the different Madison Mays we follow are all kind of like in different genres, so that was really fun for the author to play around with that. But overall, it was just so fast-paced. And especially our main protagonist, the reporter, was very multi-dimensional. And in every dimension that she hops to, where there's a Madison May to murder, there's also her and her boyfriend. And her boyfriend is different in every dimension. And it's like, well, would I be happier with this one? Should I stay here with this one? Well, what if the next one is better? What if the next one is not? So that was a really interesting dimension of this book as well. And I think I just watched too much Sliders when I was a kid, but when I think of multi-dimensional travel, I think of that like swirly, whirly graphic that always pops up when everything's spinning. So I made a rainbow spinner to represent all the different dimensions in which Madison May dies. Or doesn't. Or we try to prevent Madison May from dying. Anyway, isn't it so pretty?
All people lie to written on your face. All people lie, falling to disgrace. All people lie, it's written on your face. All people lie, falling to disgrace. It's coming to get you. There's no escape.
Listen for the Lie it was either won or it was nominated for the Goodreads Choice Awards last year, and I do understand why people like this, and I liked it, but I didn't think it was the best of the year. I mean, that's not really what Goodreads Choice Awards are. But I did like the podcast aspect of it. I thought that was really well done, especially if you listen to the audiobook, because there's different narrators, the podcast has music, so that was pretty cool. The actual mystery itself wasn't the most surprising if you read a lot of mystery thrillers, but I really enjoyed these characters. We have our podcaster, and they keep saying he's full of himself, but I didn't really get that. But he is trying to find out who murdered our main character's best friend, because as far as everyone else is concerned, our protagonist did it, but they just couldn't convict her. And she has amnesia, which, not my favorite trope. Unreliable narrators, are they crazy? Are they drunk? And amnesia, just not my favorite tropes. And I don't know if it was done well in this book, or if I was just enjoying other aspects of the book enough to forgive it. But our main character left her little small town where everyone thinks she's a murderer, and her mom or her grandma calls her and says, I'm turning 80. You have to come to my birthday. So she goes back to her little small town, and the podcaster is also there. We're trying to figure out who did it. And our main character, again, she has amnesia. So she isn't even sure that she's innocent, and she really does kind of want to figure it out. And the strength in this is the characters. I really liked our podcaster. I really liked a couple of the side characters. Our protagonist she's very realistic. She's not painted one color. She's not good, she's not bad, she's human. And then there's her grandma. I love the grandma so much. So she is just a quirky, fun, happy grandma that moved into a pink tiny house, much to the dismay of her daughter. So I made this cute little pink tiny house in honor of our grandma character. Up an extra shift at my second job, and another teacher is sick, so I'm picking up his day too. So we have another pajama update in anticipation of being tired tomorrow, and already being tired today. So I read Where He Can't Find You, and I have really, really liked everything I've read by Darcy Coates, but this one, I was like, this kind of seems a little YA, and then I realized in some places it is classified as YA, other places it's not, so I didn't even know she wrote YA. I thought she just did adult horror, but it kind of made sense. This really feels like it, but without the hate crime and child smorgy at the end. Sorry if I just spoiled like a 40-year-old book for you, but yeah, Stephen King was on a lot of drugs at the time. So it 1,000 pages. This felt like a much more approachable version of it. There's a town called Doubtful, and there's this group of teenagers and like one of their younger sisters. And in this town, there is something supernatural happening. Obviously, like technology will just not work randomly. Everyone will start having bad dreams. One of the characters' moms has like supernaturally linked Alzheimer's. So there's obviously something weird going on. But they also are like, we know who did it. It's that guy. No one can prove it, but like we all know it's that guy. So they're like, do we have a serial killer? Is it something supernatural? Is it both? And our one character's younger sister gets taken by this serial killer magical entity they don't quite know. And it is up to our teenagers to find this girl. And it is interesting how she addresses people won't even talk to people who are connected to victims of, they call him the Stitcher because he tears people apart and then stitches them back together wrong with red thread. So people won't touch victims' cars. Their cars will literally just be on the side of the road forever. Like, if you have someone in your family that was taken by the Stitcher, people won't talk to you because they're so afraid that it'll then happen to them. And that, I have really found, happens when something bad happens. If someone is in your life with Alzheimer's or cancer or any kind of like big trauma, you would hope people would come together as a community to help each other, but more often than not, they want to stay as far away as they can in case it rubs off on them. So I thought that was interesting. I didn't think it really brought anything new to this genre, but if you have been thinking of reading it, but it's, you know, problematic and 1,000 pages, I would say pick this up instead. It is a good, I guess, YA horror. The horror is pretty gruesome for YA. That's why I was like, ugh, I don't know about that. But I mean, overall, I gave it a 3, but I could definitely recommend this to someone who is younger or new to horror. A bonus read for this vlog is Sherry Frankie's The House of My Mother. She is very honest and candid, and in some memoirs I will say, well, you can definitely tell this person did a lot of therapy, and that is a compliment. She has processed a lot of trauma and abuse, and she's very honest about her struggles with mental health even as a young person. And I really like to see that when I'm reading a book, especially when there is such horror in the Ruby Frankie, Jodi Hildebrand situation. If you are not a true crime person, you might not have known those women did some horrible things to sweet little innocent children. And Sherry did not get the physical abuse that the two youngest got. She did get some, but she was very gaslit and emotionally traumatized. There's things in this book I didn't realize were part of her story, but are very relatable. So it was very nice hearing from someone who had actually done therapy with Jody and now is on the other side and has done good therapy, and someone else with a fawn stress response. It's fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, and I also am a fawn. And it works out. It benefits everyone around me. But then people are like, oh, you're stressed? No, you're not. You made cookies. I'm like, yeah, that's what I do when I'm stressed. I make other people happy. So it was very relatable, the way that she dealt with everything. And it is heavy subject matter. The book didn't feel overly morose or overly pity party or sad. It was very honest and vulnerable and candid, though. So if you are at all interested in this, in the whole Ruby Frankie thing, I would recommend this. Also, if you just want a good memoir about a young person with dysfunctional family systems and a lot of resilience, I would recommend this book. Thank you for joining me this week. I had a pretty good time. I had a couple DNFs in the middle, but overall, pretty solid, if not slow, reading week. Or actually, I think this is going to cover a 2-week period. But we're doing the best we can. You keep doing the best you can. We'll help each other as much as possible. Care for each other. Care for yourselves. And remember, shoulders back, heads up, and breathe.